This is a second stimulus check update. The deadline has officially moved from December 11th to December 18th to pass the next stimulus package with stimulus checks. I'll break down the different stimulus check amounts, so the $600 check versus the $1,200 check versus the $2,000 stimulus check, and which amount you can be eligible to receive. Then I'll go over what Republicans and Democrats are saying in Congress about the progress being made about the upcoming stimulus package. I hope you're having a great day so far. Quick reminder, I'm giving out $200 checks to my subscribers, and I have details to that down in the description below. So US billionaire wealth has grown a lot since the pandemic has started. So the top billionaires in the country, in America, has grown by 1.06 trillion since the COVID pandemic has started. To give you some more numbers, the top 10 US billionaires, so that's Jeff Bezos from Amazon, Elon Musk from Tesla, Bill Gates from Microsoft, Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. So basically, their combined net worth is more than $1 trillion. By comparison, the bottom half of the US population, or 165 million Americans, holds $2.1 trillion in total. So even if we cut that in half, 80 million Americans is equal to the net worth of just 10 billionaires in the US. So some people are saying that this is not fair and that the billionaires should pay up and help out with stimulus checks. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Should some of these billionaires' net worth's money be used towards stimulus checks, or just let them keep their own money? I'm curious about your thoughts about this down in the comments below. Moving on to stimulus news. So let me break down exactly what is going on. The Bipartisan Emergency COVID Relief Act of 2020, the framework summary was just released yesterday, December 9th. So this isn't the official bill with the official language. This is a 6-page document that basically says how much money they have towards different programs and exactly how it's being used. So the exact bill, the official bill, will probably be like 100 to 200 pages with a bunch of legal language in there. But this is basically for any person who doesn't understand legal jargon to just read this and understand what's going on. The big takeaway with this one is that it's going to give an unemployment boost of $300 per week for 16 weeks, and this one does not have any stimulus checks with it, but they are fighting to put stimulus checks in it. Then the White House and Republicans introduced a $916 billion relief bill 2 days ago, and this one has $600 stimulus checks. So this one with the $600 stimulus checks, it does not have that $300 per week unemployment boost. So my question to you is, would you prefer the bill with the $600 stimulus check, or the stimulus bill with no stimulus check but the $300 per week unemployment boost? Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. So there's also another number of stimulus checks. So President Trump has said privately, has privately indicated a willingness to send another round of stimulus checks as much as $2,000. So this $2,000 stimulus check, we could barely get a $1,200 stimulus check through Congress. A $2,000 stimulus check, as much as we would like it, it doesn't seem likely. As much as we want President Trump to do this, it's not up to President Trump. It comes down to Congress, unfortunately. So the House has officially approved the 1-week spending bill as the stimulus drags on. So basically, this is going to extend the deadline from December 11th to December 18th in order to pass the bill, the spending bill, to help out with the government so that we don't have a government shutdown, as well as a stimulus package attached to that. So the deadline was supposed to be tomorrow, December 11th. We're nowhere near anything being completed. We don't even have the official bill yet. So it's a good thing that they did move it, but I'm not even sure if they'll make the December 18th deadline. It's been deadline after deadline, and so far, no bill has been passed. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. Will they pass it by December 18th, or are they going to have to extend it again until Christmas? I don't know what's going on with that. All right, so COVID relief talks are hitting another wall. Basically, the Republican stimulus bill kind of threw a wrench in the system because we had the bipartisan bill. Both Republicans and Democrats were working together to use that as a framework for negotiations. But then the Republicans, the White House, President Trump, Steve Mnuchin, Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, they're all behind this Republican stimulus bill with the $600 stimulus check, and that kind of threw things for a loop. So Mitch McConnell is criticizing Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer for not going along with this new Republican stimulus bill, calling them schizophrenic, a bunch of name calling, basically saying that they're delaying the whole stimulus process. It's getting more and more confusing. So Steve Mnuchin also said, by sending out checks, we're putting money into the economy for people. This will have the impact of creating demand, which will have the impact of creating jobs. We want to get people their jobs back. Now, Steve Mnuchin referring to checks. This is the $600 stimulus check attached to their stimulus package. President Trump is supporting the $600 stimulus check at this moment. $600 I don't think will go a long way, especially to people who are in desperate situations. If they're behind on rent or in debt, they're going to use that money to pay off debt, maybe pay off their friends or family for borrowing money. Or if they're not in debt, they're going to take this money and put it into a savings account, just in case we're having this more shutdowns, more pandemic economic faults. They're going to use that money for a rainy day. And so the money isn't going to be used into the economy much and circulate. With our economy being run off of 70% consumer spending, $600 isn't going to go a long way. $600 maybe a few months ago, maybe it would have helped, but now we're kind of behind on that. Here's a clip by Joe Manchin, which is one of the senators, Democrat senator with the bipartisan bill. Here's him grilled and interrogated by Shepard Smith. Here's a clip right now.
Bipartisan group of senators, as I mentioned, just finished a meeting on this very subject. Senator Joe Manchin was in it. He's a member of this Gang of Eight, the author of a bipartisan $908 billion stimulus plan. Senator, before we get started, quickly, did anything change in the meeting?
Well, Shepard, we're working hard. We really are. We know they said the two things that we've punted. We haven't punted on anything. We're the only game in town. We're still meeting day and night, every day and night for the last 3.5 weeks.
It's all Washington talk. You said earlier, Senator, that a deal is very close, but there is still no bill. Republicans are demanding protections from lawsuits for big corporations. Democrats demanding help from workers in the public sector and money for state and local that Republicans are blocking. Both sides say they want direct payment for disaster victims, but there is not a penny in direct payments in your proposal. Why not?
Well, let's talk. Shepard, basically, this is truly an emergency
package. But there's not money for direct payments to people in your bill or in your plan, or is there?
There is not, because the emergency basically is more with the people who are unemployed, who don't have a job, who don't have a check, who have nothing. This is an emergency to get us through the first quarter, which will be the most difficult quarter that we've ever had. And that's all we've done. They wanted 1.2, 1.3 was the bottom line the Democrats would go to. The Republicans wouldn't get off of 500. We finally have moved everybody to say it takes $900 billion to get us through the most challenging times.
Senator, I don't know who us is, because that doesn't get money to the people. You know, when a hurricane strikes in the Gulf South, the government rushes to help. When fires ravage California, the government steps in. We're 9 months into the biggest health crisis and resulting financial crisis in 100 years, and the federal government has done nothing for the victims in 257 days. Why? Why is Washington failing the people? What's the reason?
What about the $3 trillion that was sent out, Shepard, in March?
That was 257 days ago. They're out. Rent is due. They can't buy food. We have the longest food lines of my lifetime in America, Senator. Why isn't there help from Washington?
Basically, we have people running out of unemployment checks. They got nothing. The things are basically closing now because of the rampant COVID expansion. We're trying to meet that emergency need. This is not a do-all, end-all. Joe Biden says this is a down payment. He comes in as our president in January. He'll put basically another package to take us out of this mess that we have. We've got to bridge that gap. That's all we're trying to do. We couldn't even get any of our caucuses on anything. After the election, we said something has to be done. They're not moving, Shepard. We are.
But
we're out there doing something and putting it on the line. We gave you about 90% of a bill. We have two things.
There is no bill.
There's not a Democrat or
Senator,
Republican.
with great respect, I've always enjoyed conversations with you for more than a decade. But the open secret in Washington is there is no incentive to work together. You get votes by fighting with the other party, and you get money from special interests. The people have no power. And wait now, and it's been like that for a long time. That's a broken system that even a pandemic that's killed 280,000 Americans cannot shake up. Do we need a new system? Because this isn't working.
I think Shepard Smith did a great job of asking tough questions. Unfortunately, we just got political answers in response. So Joe Manchin saying that progress is being made, maybe the following week, what's going to happen with all these Americans? We're just not getting the right answers, and it just seems like there's not enough progress being made. So lawmakers are still arguing between $600 or $1,200 stimulus checks. For a while there, Republicans, Democrats were both in agreement on $1,200 stimulus checks, and not sure why that just went out the window and now $600 is becoming the new norm. It seems like they're just making it less and less until American people are just like, I'll just take whatever. And maybe that's what they want. Here's a clip by Bernie Sanders talking about why we need $1,200 stimulus checks in his interview yesterday.
This bipartisan plan that Lisa was reporting on is not supported by all. There is one key voice of dissent, and that's from Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. He wants to see money going directly into the pockets of Americans, and he joins me now. Senator Sanders, thank you so much for joining us again. Tell us why you think this so-called direct payment is the way to go. How much should it be? How much does it cost?
Well, Judy, I think you just gave the answer a moment ago. We are looking right now at the worst economic crisis facing working people since the Great Depression. I mean, we're talking about millions of people who have lost their jobs and their income. We're talking about tens of millions of people who face eviction. We're talking about half our population living paycheck to paycheck. People don't have any health care. And we're seeing a record-breaking level of hunger in the United States of America. People can't feed their kids. This is an emergency. And in an emergency, it is obligatory for the United States government to respond to the pain and needs of its people. Now, the bill that we are discussing right now has some good things in it, to be sure, but it is, in terms of new money, it's a $900 billion bill. In terms of new money, as opposed to money carried over from the CARES Act, it's like $350 billion. Democrats have demanded over $2 trillion. What this bill does not do is provide one nickel in direct payment to adults. And I want to see $1,200, $500 for kids, and it only has $300 a week for unemployment supplement. So we've got to do a lot better than that if, in fact, we're going to address the very serious economic problems facing our people.
Is pushing the White House hard and no doubt influence the White House to say it favors direct payments?
I think when pushed, for whatever reason, Donald Trump will, in fact, end up supporting a $1,200 direct payment for working class people in this country. And I think you're right. We have some Republican support. And you have, I think, at the end of the day, an overwhelming majority of Democratic senators who want to do this. But what has to happen right now, we have got to have the backbone to say very simply, we are not leaving Washington. We're not going home for the Christmas holidays unless we stand with the working families of this country who are in such terrible distress right now.
Bernie Sanders continues to talk about how whenever corporations need bailout money, or if we have a war, there's trillions of dollars. But when it comes to hungry Americans, hungry families, hungry senior citizens, we don't have enough money for that. Not even a few $1 billion for a stimulus check. So that is all the stimulus news I have for you today. To cheer up your mood a little bit, here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, this is the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing when you feel sad. You have to do something that you really want to make you feel better or make you feel true. Or you can also, if you help somebody, then you'll feel even better or something. Or if something's really into you and you're really feeling good, you should do that as well. Bye, this is Bella. This was the tip of the day.
If you want to keep the positive vibes going and get away from this negative news, I recommend clicking this video over here. It's on my Wise Vibes channel. It's 6 ways to never give up. So if you ever feel down, you ever feel like giving up on anything, don't. Just watch this video over here and you'll get into such a better mood. I guarantee it. So watch that video now and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.